Serious, ex-vegans of Reddit, why did you stop being vegan? I'm allergic to too many foods. If I cut out everything I am allergic to and everything I couldn't eat because I'm vegan, I would be eating very sad crappy meals for the rest of my life. I had an eating disorder, recovery for 4 years, and could not deal with how much I was still thinking about food and nutrition. Just a few things to clarify. 1. I am not implying a link between veganism and eating disorders. There very well may be one, given the response to my comment. However, I don't know enough because I have not read the research. I am not making any kind of claims. I simply answered the question because it was my experience. 2. I pretended to be vegan to avoid eating. Yes. But after my hospitalization and on the road to recovery, I tried veganism in an attempt to bridge the gap between the recovery everyone wanted for me and the doubts I had about where deep down I could really ever recover or whether I really deserved to. I was visiting a foreign country, Japan, and staying with a family. I didn't want to be rude and not eat their cooking, and I didn't want them to have to go out of their way for my diet, so I ate meat there and that kind of ended it. I still don't eat much meat and eat a lot of vegan food, but I'm not a vegan. I know some situational vegetarians who, if they're in a foreign situation, they'll totally eat meat. My brother started being a vegetarian in college, but when we went to Europe for a month he ate everything. He came back and he went right back to being vegetarian and hasn't stopped in more than a decade. I am no longer vegan, but I still don't eat meat. I miss cheese. Although I am plagued by guilt of the animals I'm hurting. Not bees though. Eating honey is good for bees. I have an eating disorder and celiacs, and to stay alive I need to stop eating a restrictive diet. It became an obsession to worry about death while eating. First I didn't eat pigs because pigs are intelligent and empathetic beings. Then decided against anything that had a brain. Then when I cut out eggs and dairy, I realized that everything I ate caused something to suffer through slave labor, through destruction of habitat, reduction in crop diversity, etc. Even eating quinoa takes resources away from indigenous populations that rely on the food to live. Part of my eating disorder was the guilt not only in thinking I was getting fat, but that I was hurting things by merely existing, by sustaining myself. I went insane. My life became unlivable and I literally became suicidal because I couldn't stop stressing over food. I didn't eat for 5 days when I was at my worst. Then on the 5th day I confided in a friend about my irrational concerns and he called 911. I went to the hospital. Ever since then has been a journey to get better. I'm not meant to restrict myself anymore. With celiacs, the amount of food I can eat is already limited, and my therapist honestly worries about even that life-saving restriction, and how it necessitates an obsession with seeing how the food is prepared and what it is composed of, at the threat of death. Now, in recovery, eternally in recovery, I have vegan friends who attack me with videos of animals being tortured, spam me with them, and I can't explain how much it hurts to see, but to stay alive I can't do it. I was vegan for 6 years. I got drunk at a friend's wedding and took a bunch of cheese rolls underneath a table and ate them, in a secret drunken stupor, smearing cheese and butter all over my bridesmaid's dress. It was such a happy moment in my life and made me realize I had not been enjoying food for a long time. I eat everything now. As a teen I had an eating disorder which I, mostly, grew out of over the past 3-4 years. I turned vegan for the right reasons, but constantly checking food labels for ingredients, worrying about nutrition, and the anxiety associated with going to restaurants made me feel like I was falling back into anorexia. I still eat consciously, but putting myself into the vegan box was too much for my mental health. My entire life revolved around food. Going somewhere last minute, go to bring vegan snacks. Going out with friends for dinner, have to play the can I eat this game. Every day was deciding what to eat or cook or buy. I met a meat eater, slowly went from vegan to vegetarian to meat eater. I don't regret it. I have significantly more free time now. I was vegan until I realized that all of the food waste at my job, at friends' places, etc., does not lessen by me not being willing to eat it. If my friend offers me his extra nuggets, me refusing doesn't help. It doesn't unnugget and revive the chicken. It just means perfectly good food goes in the trash because my friend was full. So now I will eat animal products, but I won't buy them, and I only eat them if they will otherwise go to waste. I also eat a bite of meat occasionally when I haven't in a while to make sure my body can still process it without making me sick, but I don't buy those. I take them off my friends' or partner's plate. I also have eating disordered tendencies, though I don't have anything bad enough to require medical help, and restricting my diet that much was doing really bad things to my mental health. I'll also use my second-hand leather wallet, but when it's worn out I won't buy another leather one. Vegetarian for 12 years, vegan for 2.5, went back to vegetarian last winter. There are many delicious vegan food options and I found a vegan diet generally improved my health. However, I have a busy schedule and don't always get time to prepare my own meals or the opportunity to make the call about where I eat what's on the menu. Unfortunately, while lacto-ovo-vegetarianism is pretty widely accepted and recognized at this point, there are still a lot of restaurants, families and groups that do not understand a vegan needs more to eat than plain salad with dry toast. These types of situations would happen pretty regularly, leaving me hangry. So, it's just easier for everyone if I accept some random dairy or egg now and then, until the vegan revolution comes, when I'll bust out the flag and march alongside my plant-nourished comrades once more. Got pregnant and craved chicken wings the entire time. Finally ate them after I had my son and haven't turned back since. Until past a few years, I was a vegan whole my life. I was a vegan because of my early family background of being highly religious and considered non-veg habits almost a sin. It was morally wrong to do so and hence it was established that way for us. I didn't rebel and was a faithful worshipper of the god. Just to be clear, I am 23 years old Indian Hindu from New Delhi. As we became older we realized all these morals and habits are coming from a person who is being hailed by my family as their god. It's commonplace here. So there was this person deciding how I am supposed to live and be accepted as it is with no doubt or question. Fast forward my higher secondary school, I failed miserably to qualify the exam I ever dreamed of. That rage drove me to dump all these BS and get on with life as I wanted to be, since I am happy non-vegan. I started to get lightheaded and fatigued. I couldn't continue because I didn't have enough time to prepare nutritionally sufficient meals, being in college and all. I was too busy. I don't regret being vegan though. It helped me eat way less junk food even after I quit being vegan. I crave junk food less. I felt a lot healthier, just tired. My husband and I were both vegan, so we were raising our kids like that by default. We would be at birthday parties and my kids started to get to the point where they wanted the pizza and the cake and I just wanted them to be able to be somewhat normal. Also, I saw people all around me with their kids eating very strict paleo, etc. and being obsessive with food. I worried that sort of diet or, similarly, strict veganism might also put them at risk to be orthorexic. So, again, I just wanted them to be semi-normal. We transitioned to a vegetarian diet and in the city that we live in, there are always lots of options. 2 of my kids are old enough now to choose and they like being vegetarian and will sometimes choose vegan meals. Joined the Marine Corps, was afraid boot camp would be too hard and my buddy told me about how he was made fun of for being vegetarian by the DIs, so I decided I'd go back after boot camp. Just haven't made the jump back. Plan to though. Playing the Is It Vegan Friendly game was easy and enjoyable at first, but over time it became more and more of a hassle. Going out to eat food in places was the worst. If I went to a restaurant I would have to eat the dry bread and eat basic foods, salads, soups, rice. I made the mistake of joining a vegan group on Facebook and it was just filled with so much hatred to people who eat meat, frequently calling them carnies, carnivores, carnists, and monsters, while acting superior. Oh, we're morally right so we can insult anyone. I felt disgust for the vocal side of the community. Over time, it became an uphill battle to remain vegan and stick with my morals, which I was slowly becoming unsure of if my heart was truly in it. I gradually started eating animal products again, going vegetarian, before consuming meat once more. Vegan for 5 years. Get married to construction worker. I don't know how to cook anything but tempeh. Husband, in honeymoon bliss, never complains about eating tofu stir fry for 3 weeks straight. One day I come home early and he is there. He has fried a steak. He was supposed to be at work. It got rained out, he says. He tries to hide steak, ends up confessing that he constantly eats meat in secret and wasn't expecting me home. He cries, says he's sorry but can't go on like this much long. His muscle children will starve, also weightlifter. I say okay, his life is more important than a chicken's. I call my grandma, she teaches me how to cook. We live happily ever after in meat and cheese heaven. I am under 18 and, being that everyone else in my house are omnivores, I decided that being a vegan was too much pressure on everyone else. I didn't want to make them go out of their way to get vegan foods for me. SHHH. Like this video, but quietly so you don't wake up the sleeping papa. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.